next one is really just talking through some updates that HubSpot has made with custom objects, properties, and the limits surrounding them. So HubSpot has made these a bit more accessible and given you a lot more flexibility with what you could do with these. Custom objects came out, I don't know, probably 18 months to 2 years ago now. So they've been around for a bit. They haven't gotten any increases, at least not like the one we've seen now. So pretty exciting in terms of the flexibility and stuff that you can now build inside of HubSpot. So initially, custom objects, they are an enterprise feature. You would get 500,000 custom object records and 10 custom object definitions. So you could have 10 additional objects that you create and then 500 records within those object definitions. We've now seen an increase of still 10 custom object definitions, but by default, we now have 1 million custom object records available and 50 pipelines on each custom object. So you basically double your storage capability on custom objects with no change to current plan. You just have that now going forward. And then a big add is on the Ops Hub enterprise side is you get double the custom objects and you get 500,000 additional records. So if you're, in addition to a lot of the other Ops Hub features, if you're looking to build out additional functionality within inside HubSpot with custom objects to track additional data, Ops Hub Enterprise is a good use case because of this additional 10 custom objects that you get.
And Reed, I know some people may be unfamiliar with the concept of a custom object versus a standard object. A standard object being contacts, companies, deals. Can you give some examples of just custom objects that people could now leverage and use?
Yeah, for sure. So we are in our test portal, so we're probably going to have some weird names. But to Noah's point, contacts, companies, deals, tickets, these are standard HubSpot objects. We now have, these are all custom objects. So this boot camps, courses, crops, listings, all of the above. Let's go into listings. So I think this one is, let's see here, gives us the, yeah, this is, I think, intended to be used as like a real estate listing. So you could now have a listing for all of your homes that are for sale, for instance, with the address, how much it costs, whether it's active or canceled or sold, and then associate the listing to contacts or companies. So we could now associate this this listing address to the person that's purchasing, to the buyer's agent, to the seller's agent, associate to a deal maybe if you're getting commission off the stuff. So it really gives you the ability to extend the functionality of where a listing, maybe you can make a deal work for it, but listing makes more sense because you can build it purpose-built for that specific use cases versus trying to make a standard object fit into all these different buckets. Becomes definitely tricky to work with versus just using a custom object to explicitly solve an issue or a data thing that you need solved.
And I know most of our clients in general do take advantage of custom objects in one capacity or another. It really makes this a much more usable platform at this point. It's great to see them expanding custom objects themselves and how many you can have and the number of records in each.
Yeah. So that's the custom objects limits. So those are the new limits for our different hubs and level of hubs. There's then the custom object add-on. So again, by default, all enterprise gets 10 custom object definitions and 1 million records. Ops Hubs gets 20. If you need additional custom objects, so if you're doing a lot of customization, you have the ability to get this add-on to get 10 additional custom objects. So if you bought one pack, you would now have the ability to have 20 custom objects. and 2 million records. And this is new as well. There used to be a lower limit on the capacity. You can now get 59 of these packs. So I think, what is that? Like 600 custom objects, technically, if you wanted, with 50 million records. So this is definitely expanding the use case of, yes, HubSpot CRM, marketing, sales, customer success focused. You can build out a lot of processes now with custom objects that maybe you are using a different system for. We see this in Salesforce a lot of, you can build a project management object and a process to do project management through custom objects. With these new limits and the ability to really kind of make unlimited objects, you now have a lot of that same flexibility in HubSpot to do the exact same type of stuff. Take processes that maybe you have in disparate systems and actually just recreate them in HubSpot if it makes sense.
And just like what we saw in Salesforce becoming more of a platform that you can build on top of to customize for your organization, this really has given HubSpot that same trajectory, being able to build anything you need inside of it. It's more than just, quote, a CRM at this point for clients.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other new kind of SKU that they have is the custom properties add-on. So this allows you to increase the number of custom properties you have. I believe right now, enterprise is 1,000 custom properties per object. This gives you an additional 500 in packs here for a total of maximum capacity of 3,000 per object. As a comparison, I know Salesforce is also 1,000, so it's getting up there with similar in functionality as well for the number of custom fields and properties that you can make here. And again, these can be purchased. You can get one, or you can get multiple up until that 3,000 mark per object. And then the last add-on is calculated properties. And calculated properties in Pro tier were 5. Now by default, that's 25. So no change to your guys' current level. You just get these 20 additional calculated properties that started in January. But we also have the ability to purchase additional calculated properties for a maximum of 500 per account. And you can also purchase these in packs, so you don't have to get all the way up to the 500, obviously.
And Reed, can you give some examples of how people can leverage calculated properties or use cases for them?
Yep, definitely. So this is another big update that or improvement that HubSpot has had is around the formula builder and the just kind of out of the box roll up capabilities that you get. So actually made a property called webinar deal rollup. And what this does is this is on the contact object. So I'm on contact properties right now. This is a calculated property, and it's going to roll up a count of associated objects. So I am looking at all the deals associated to this contact. Where the amount of the deal is greater than 1,000, it will increment up how many I have of those. So if this deal is associated to, or if this contact is associated to 5 deals, 4 of them are 2K in value, 1 of them is $200 in value, this property would show 4. And where that gets interesting is when you're trying to, let's say, find your most valuable customers of who is repeated buying at a high ticket price, or what companies have the most number of deals. You could do some of this stuff through reports or views or things like that, but having the property there that you can easily make a view on the contact list view, for instance, and say, give me all my contacts with 5 or more deals, with no other list creation or complex filter. You just look at this one calculated property to do that. Can be super impactful. And you can do this across any association. So if we go in to create a property, and call it test web. In the field type, we get calculation, and you then get to build the calculation. So there are a couple of options here. One is a custom equation, and this is a piece that's gotten a lot better, is you can build formulas here, and you get functions and properties. So I could say concatenate two strings together, or check if a property contains this value and do this thing. We got some exchange rate things. We can lowercase stuff to lowercase all of our emails or first names or something if you wanted to do that. So you get a really nice formula builder to do a lot of stuff on the contact object itself, but then you get these kind of pre-built equations as well, where you can do specific things. So I did a count, for instance, on the number of deals associated to this contact, but you can do a max. We could do like a max deal per contact. So we could do, what is the highest deal amount per contact? Give me the top 100 contacts by largest deal, and do that through a calculated property. So there's a ton of functionality, and a lot of these things like roll-ups, which they're called, are actually a lot easier to do in HubSpot than they are in Salesforce, for instance, just using these properties. So it's actually a really good builder. They've been making changes to these relatively frequently, and you can see actually here they're pushing a change on March 14th for this as well. So I really like these. Think they can be super powerful. Having 25 of them now at the pro level, and then I believe 100 at the enterprise level, gives you a lot of flexibility with these for sure.